Growth. Desk with my hammer. We're joined by Mr. Scott, Mr. Stefano, the other usual suspects. We're going to have item number 2, comments, suggestions, petitions by residents in attendance regarding items not on the agenda. Have anything? Okay. Number 3, update on East Mills Industrial Center land development.
So this is just a verbal update. There's no attachments or documentation. I did receive a documentation late this afternoon. About a week and a half ago, I received word from Eli Kahn's development team that the client who was the tenant who was potentially going to take that site has pulled out of the deal after going through some corporate reevaluations. So as of right now, they sent us a letter withdrawing that land development application. And they said without prejudice, so they want that preliminary land development to stay intact for now until they decide what they're going to move forward with future plans. So as of now, we're in a holding pattern to see what Mr. Kahn wants to do with that property.
Is there any, I know the answer to this question. Is there any time frame for possibly moving forward? I mean, so therefore it's not 100% heartbeat stop dead. Possibility of still.
Yeah, it's not 100% dead. It's definitely on life support, I think. But the Econ Development said that they are going to start working on a plan B, getting something together. That's going to take several months. So in that time, if the prior tenant decides to come back into the picture, then great. They'll still have something. I would say it's probably going to be at least 6 months before they get something into us. Could be sooner, though. Who knows?
Do you know if they have anyone for Plan B or any ideas for Plan B?
No, I don't. They haven't said anything to me. They submitted something a long time ago, about 2 years ago, to the sketch plan to the Planning Commission for warehousing, but I don't want to speculate on what they want to do there.
Okay. Bottom line, really a whole lot more than Friday or Thursday a week or so ago.
Yeah, no, there's no new information, but I just wanted to make Borough Council aware. Okay. And there was obviously a lot of rumors spreading around about it.
They already are.
Yep.
Okay, thanks for that. Any questions or comments from people at the meeting? Okay. Item number 4, review September building and housing monthly.
Okay. Monthly update here on a couple of large items that are going on in the borough. The Melton Center, it's going along pretty well. We've had very minimal issues over there with the construction. Contractor's been pretty good to work with. We had some issues with mud on the road, as you can see in my report, but other than that, nothing significant. We got them under control with that. The stormwater system has begun the installation. They're excavating. There was a massive amount of trucks hauling out the dirt over there for the stormwater bed. So things continue to progress nicely over there. I'm over there almost daily on site doing inspections, so we're keeping an eye on them. The Davis Oil property. We've been in court several times here for this property. As you can see, we have about $6,300 in fines. The borough solicitor has just sent a letter to the district court advising the judge that she can hold the attorney for the state liable for these citations. So we are hoping that she's going to follow through with that and they're going to pay these fines to the borough. We're going to continue to issue citations to them and ensure that somebody for that estate's held liable to pay this money. Attorney has said to us that they have an offer from a prospective buyer. No agreement of sale yet, so we're hoping that if they get an agreement of sale in place, we can get those get the buildings torn down by the prospective buyer. But as of right now, it's kind of standstill until something happens.
They
Stateside.
know everything that's going on with, too.
I'm sorry.
I would hope they know everything that's going on with that property that's plugging up the work.
Yeah, I think the DEP is scheduled to start mediation. At least this is what they've told us verbally, is they want to start their mediation of the groundwater there in November, right? Somewhere around Thanksgiving.
Who's doing that?
DEP is doing that.
Oh, again.
So it's
Okay.
about a 3 to 4 year process for them to decontaminate that property to a standard where it can be built on for commercial.
It would still preclude housing, though?
Yeah, I mean, no
That's what I
residential there.
thought. Okay. Interesting.
Quick update. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what we've been citing them for the unsafe buildings. And we've also cited them for the unsecure structure, to which they've had very little response to doing anything. And again, that is why we've had our solicitor look into this and to ensure that the attorney for the estate can be held liable. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. There was a door that was unsecured. I believe it has now been secured. And they do have fencing around the remainder of the property. And if you were going to get in there, you'd have to climb the fence. It is fenced. There was one door that was not within the fenced area that was unsecured, which we forced them to secure that, which I believe has since been done. The biggest concern is the deteriorating structures. And we get complaints about material that if there's a high wind event, that material is flying off of those buildings.
There's a woman across the street who is collecting the roof panels when they get blown off. See them leaning up against her house when you go over.
Got a collection.
She's got a collection of them.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We certainly can. I'll send somebody out there tomorrow. Check it. We are. And again, in our conversations with the solicitor, we're going to be filing a complaint with the Court of Common Pleas as well to get the higher court to order the estate to take some action here. Quick update on my recent trip. I was out in Pittsburgh for the International Code Council's annual conference. I was out there for a week. And I was lucky enough this year to be selected by one of the board of director members as their shadow. It's a pretty big honor. The board of directors, each director selects someone they see as an emerging leader to be their shadow, so they can see the inner workings of the board, what they do during these events, and see the process and learn. It was a great time. It was a valuable learning experience. And the more I go to these, the more I learn, and it's just important that we continue to do that. One of our biggest goals there is that we attend the hearings for these code changes, and we're developing future codes. The codes are always changing, right? Every 3 years, there's a new code cycle, and being involved in that process and voting on these code changes is big for the future development codes and the safety of our communities. So thank you to Borough Council for continuing to allow me to attend these events. And it was nice that no tax dollars were spent for this round.
Yeah, thank you. That's,
So
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm sure you deserve it. You know, you show us every month that you know what you're doing. How many shadow people are there?
There are 12 board members. So there's 12 board members, I believe. So there's 12 shadows.
Who are you shadowing?
I shadowed a gentleman by the name of Ron Hampton. He is a state building inspector from Kentucky.
Oh, this is a national deal?
This is the International Code Council. Yep. So we,
Well, I know that Perone Prophet did a lot from going on these trips. And he actually was part of the international BOCA.
correct. So before it was the International Code Council, he was a past president of BOCA.
Yeah.
BOCA then had changed to the ICC when all of those different organizations became one to what they are today.
And you're kind of on that track.
That's my plan.
Okay, good. And the most important thing, if I may, every one of these confabs, there's like a room in the hotel where vendors come in and they put trinkets and goodies and stuff. And you have to realize, I guess you didn't do it this time, but it is your obligation to get one of those big bags and put stuff in it and bring it back for people on council.
I've seen him in action.
So that we know
good
that
at it.
you,
Yeah, we didn't
You
have
were
that
there
event
fully
this year, but
participating.
I'll certainly keep that in the back of my mind for next year. Absolutely. Quick update here on the some of the numbers for last month. Climbing steadily in the rental inspection. We did 361 last month. We did a lot of the large complexes. That's why that number jumped up, but we're getting back on pace for the year-to-date numbers there. We issued a lot of permits last month, 57 permits. You can see we're well above the numbers from 2020. We have 431 for the year as opposed to 266 last year. So you can see that the department's getting pretty busy here with building inspections and issuing permits, well beyond where we were last year during the COVID issues. We have issued 414 trash tickets on the year, so guys are staying pretty busy out there on top of any issues that we're having, especially down in the southeastern part of town. That, if I have any questions for Court.
Do you have any questions? Should we have to take on this? Before we move on, any comments or questions? Item number 5, review September 21 HARB submissions. These were all approved with 2 conditions here and there. The item A is a sign. B was exterior ornamental trim, basement, I believe it is. Item C, the green tree building, which they've been doing some work on. They want to replace the exterior fire door and window. HARB approved that with a few alterations of the door. Let's see, what's next? And window replacements to be, the steel replacement should reflect the model number that was part of the application. Anyway, item number D is Penn's table. They some window replacement. HARB approved that with some alterations based on the images that were. So all these are pretty.
A little more insight into letter D there that for Penn's table, they want to put in a to-go window. So that's what it's a little more than a window replacement. So when you look at the actual application, I think with COVID and obviously there's a lot of changes that restaurants are trying to make and with staffing. So they want to put in a to-go window. It's not the only we have in town. A lot of people have done that in the past year. So that's what That's what that is.
Sir, questions?
Now, I didn't see any of the visuals, the attachments that were on the website. Am I correct about that? For example, I'd like to, if we're going to rule on this, it wouldn't hurt for us at least to see what we're talking about. The exterior ornamental trim, have a visual on that?
It's in the attachments under.
It's here in the attachments?
There's several. I'll give you some insight into letter B, 34 West Minor. They had gone to Harb and got approval for enclosing an exterior porch. There was an open porch that they wanted to enclose. I went out there for their inspection, and the exterior trim on the porch was not wholly in line with the Harb approval and the COA that they had received. I then recommended to the applicant to go back to Harb for the minor changes that they made to the exterior, and that's what this is in reference to. Harb had no issues with the changes that were made to that piece of trim. Our photographs attached to application. D. Conduct my inspections that the work is done in accordance with the approved COA. So when I went out there and we looked at the COA, we noticed that it wasn't quite exact. Harb is good with this, yes.
Yep, agreed.
All right, that'd be a 3-0 for A through D. Unless everyone wants to discuss Sedona, to item number 7, the approval of the smart growth minutes, which seemed okay to me.
Problem I have with that.
Yeah, the minutes are good. Yep.
Okay, 3-0 to approve the minutes. Item number 8, any other business? Adjourned. Thank you, everyone.